Hey there, thanks for being here today. I know this isn't an easy topic to dive into, and it's definitely not something any of us want to face. But if you're watching this, chances are there's a quiet worry in your heart, something tugging at you about someone you love. Maybe it's your mom, your dad, your grandparent, or that neighbor you've always cared about. You've noticed they're quieter lately, less talkative, or just not quite themselves anymore. They say death comes like a fierce wind, sudden, intense, and brutal. But sometimes it creeps in like a gentle breeze, slipping through the cracks of daily life, leaving subtle signs, faint, slow, and easy to miss. A frown when the food doesn't taste right, a skipped meal with no explanation, or a distant look for no reason. We often chalk it up to aging or everyday tiredness. But if you pay attention, you might realize their body could be whispering something about a silent goodbye drawing near. I'm not making this video to scare you, but to help you prepare. Because death, when understood, isn't the enemy. It's a natural part of the human journey. And if we know a little about that journey ahead of time, we get a chance to do something important. Be there for our loved ones with awareness, love, and presence. We can't stop the inevitable, but we can make those final moments meaningful. Today, I'm walking you through 5 signs that an aging body often shows in its final year. Quiet, unalarming signs that are deeply real and profoundly moving. When you recognize them, you're no longer helpless. You start knowing how to love the right way, care at the right time, and say what needs to be said before it's too late. So if you're sensing something's off with someone you love, please don't brush it aside. Stick with me. Let's listen together and learn to hear the body's final whispers. So when the time comes, you can hold their hand, smile, and say, I see you. I understand. I'm here. Sign 1. Unintentional weight loss. When the body quietly says goodbye. Have you noticed your dad's old shirt suddenly looks baggy? Or that your mom's waist doesn't need a belt anymore? Maybe you've seen your grandma's favorite lunchbox only half eaten, the leftovers saved but never touched again. At first you think it's normal. People get older, eat less, lose a little weight, right? But if it keeps happening with no diet or extra exercise, it might not just be aging. It could be the body's first whisper. I'm getting ready to go. Unintentional weight loss is one of the most noticeable signs, but it's also the most overlooked. It's not loud, it doesn't hurt or demand an ambulance, but it erodes life slowly, like a candle burning down day by day. In many cases, it's not just a few pounds of fat, it's muscle loss, the stuff that keeps people standing, walking, sitting up, and independent. When older adults lose muscle, they don't just get physically weaker. They feel unsteady walking, fall more easily, and struggle to bounce back from illness. And it's not just about eating less. As we age, the digestive system gets less efficient. The body doesn't absorb protein like it used to. Even with enough food, nutrients slip away. Over time, taste buds change too. Food doesn't spark joy anymore. Eating becomes a chore, not a pleasure. A few skipped meals, a half-hearted bite, a spoonful of porridge left behind, and slowly, meals lose their life. Families often get worried at this point. They push tastier dishes, cook old favorites, urge milk or protein shakes, counting calories to reverse the trend. But sometimes the truth is, the body has entered a new phase. It's not trying to die, it's preparing. Quietly, gently, without complaint. When the body stops absorbing, no amount of food can hold it back. And that's what breaks our hearts. The feeling that our love can't be measured in plates of rice or glasses of milk. But there's still something you can do, and it matters. Stop forcing food and start being there. Shift from feeding to caring with presence. Instead of saying, why aren't you eating more? Try, can I sit and eat with you, Dad? Make soft, fragrant, easy to swallow meals. No need for chewing marathons. Don't expect them to finish everything. Cherish each bite they take in peace. A meal might just be a few spoonfuls of soup or a slice of fruit, but if it's eaten in comfort, without pressure or arguments, it's a precious moment. Because at this stage, what they need isn't more calories, it's less stress. Not protein, but kindness. Not a gourmet menu, but a familiar face by their side. And listen, not just with your ears, but with your heart. As their body wastes away, let your heart fill up with patience, love, and acceptance. Let your care become a silent language of love. Let every meal, big or small, be a moment of connection, not a battle. Because when you see them losing weight, it's not just pounds dropping, it's a message. Be with me. Hold my hand. Love me more than ever. Sign 2, chronic fatigue, when the inner flame slowly fades. One day, you notice your loved one sleeping longer than usual. It starts with an extra nap in the afternoon, then a few more minutes lingering in bed each morning. Eventually, you realize they're spending most of their day resting, no longer excited about things they used to love, not eager to chat or even just walk around the house. You ask if they're okay. They smile and say, I'm just a little tired. But as days pass, that tired doesn't go away. It becomes a constant companion, quiet, heavy, and ever-present. This isn't regular tiredness. It's exhaustion deep in their bones, a sign the body is pulling back its last reserves, saving only what's needed to keep going. In the final stage of life, the body stops prioritizing movement, activity, or laughter. It starts conserving every ounce of energy for the heart to keep beating, the lungs to keep breathing, the brain to stay alert. Things that used to be easy, like sitting up, taking a few steps, or having a conversation, become challenges. Not because they're lazy or giving up, but because their body doesn't have the fuel to sustain the old rhythm of life. As their loved one, you might feel helpless. You want to pull them back, try light activities, encourage movement, keep them engaged. But sometimes those efforts tire them out more. They don't need pushing. They need you to sit with them in stillness and understand. Your presence is what they need most. If they can't make it to the table, bring their meal to the bedside and eat together. If they don't talk much, hold their hand and share the silence. If they can't play games, play an old song they love. Let every small moment brim with love, because every second left is a gift. Chronic fatigue isn't surrender. It's the body saying, let me rest. Don't worry, just be here with me. That's enough. Sometimes a quiet embrace is the deepest way to love. Sign 3, confusion and emotional withdrawal. When memory steps back and the soul turns inward, there's a moment when you look into your loved one's eyes and notice something's changed. It's not emptiness or total unfamiliarity, but something vague, like they're here and not here at the same time. You share an old story, a happy memory. They smile, but not because they recall it, because they see you smiling. They stop asking about your day, don't call like they used to, and seem uninterested in family chatter. Memories start slipping. First names, dates, or why they walked into a room. Then whole conversations unravel, their gaze drifting far away. Some think this is a disease, dementia, or Alzheimer's. But in the final year, this confusion and withdrawal might not come from illness, but from a natural process of the mind, a letting go. The brain, like the body, gets tired. As energy fades, the mind picks what to hold on to and what to release. Emotions, once sparking laughter or tears, are tucked away in a quiet corner. Not because they don't feel, but because they lack the strength to show it. As their loved one, this can hurt. You see them slipping away, not physically, but in spirit. The person who laughed easily now sits silently. The one who hugged you now stares out the window. You wonder, are they letting go of me? Number, they're not abandoning you. They're retreating to a deeper, quieter place where words aren't the main way to connect. Instead, it's a held hand, a glance, a silent presence. The best thing you can do isn't to pull them back, but to join them in that stillness. Tell stories as a gift, not expecting them to remember, just hoping they feel your love. Play an old song, gently stroke their hand, or sit without speaking. Even if they forget your name, they still sense your love. And that love, unnamed, reaches the deepest part of their soul, a place that never fades. Sign 4, frequent illnesses and slow healing wounds, when the body no longer fights like before. You might have seen it, a cough that lingers too long, a small scratch that won't heal, or a mild fever that leaves them drained for days. You take them to the doctor, get meds, do everything right, but recovery isn't what it used to be, and a quiet fear creeps in. Why is this time different? The truth is, the body isn't fighting like it once did. The immune system, that sturdy shield that fended off countless illnesses, is tired. It doesn't respond as fiercely, doesn't rush to patch up injuries. Healing, once a given, becomes a slow, sometimes impossible task. Lingering small wounds aren't just about age. They're a sign the body is closing its final doors. The strength to heal fades as remaining energy is funneled to the essentials: heart, lungs, brain. Rebuilding skin, repairing tissue, or fighting bacteria isn't a priority anymore. Fevers, infections, pneumonia, or urinary issues become stubborn. Sometimes the only clue isn't pain or fever, but unusual fatigue, confusion, or weakness. That's why these signs often go unnoticed, until it's too late. As a caregiver, you might feel powerless. You seek better doctors, stronger meds, control every detail. But eventually you realize healing now isn't just about the body, it's about the soul, theirs and yours. Shift your care from treating to comforting. Keep wounds clean, but don't obsess over whether they heal. Let them rest more, eat what they enjoy, stay in a cozy space, and most importantly, be there, not to fix, but to walk alongside. In this phase, physical recovery might not be the goal, but every gentle touch, kind word, or quiet clasp of hands is the most powerful medicine. That's how you heal, not with pills, but with loving presence. Sign 5. Changes in breathing and circulation, the final breaths of peace. Have you ever sat with a loved one on a quiet afternoon and noticed their breathing has changed? It's not steady anymore. Sometimes it slows, pauses, or comes with a deep sigh, like they're climbing an invisible hill. In that stillness, you sense something shifting, not pain, not panic, but a gentle retreat, a wordless goodbye written in breaths and silent pauses. Changes in breathing and circulation are among the clearest signs that the body is nearing the end. It's not loud, not a cry for help. It's like a slow song, shorter, sparser breaths, cooler fingers and toes, paler skin, lips faintly blue. This isn't abnormal. It's natural. It's the body drawing inward, saving its last energy for the heart, lungs, and brain. A common pattern in this stage is Cheney-Stokes breathing. Rapid breaths followed by a pause, then starting again. To someone new, it can be unsettling, but it's not a sign of pain. It's the rhythm of a body resting, like a candle flickering, not in resistance, but in closure. As their loved one, you don't need to fix this. You don't need to call a nurse every time a breath pauses. You don't need words to fill the silence. Just be there, present, gentle, whole. Stroke their hair softly. Play a favorite song quietly. Hold their hand or rest yours on theirs, a silent whisper. I'm here. It's okay. Breathe your way. I understand. In this moment, words aren't necessary. Silence, peace, and love without language are the final gift you can give. A last breath, if it comes in your arms with your heartbeat near, isn't just an end. It's the gentlest farewell of a lifetime. We've walked through 5 signs, 5 soft whispers the body offers in its final year. From unexplained weight loss, endless fatigue, fading memory, stubborn illnesses, to slowing breaths in stillness. Each isn't just a physical decline, but a chapter closing in a life. But here's the thing. This final journey isn't only about loss. It's a chance to love more fully, be more present, and feel deeper gratitude. Because the last moments, if surrounded by understanding, compassion, and love, can become sacred, a quiet ritual of transition. You can't save your loved one from nature's course, but you can save their peace by sitting with them, letting go of the need to control or heal, and simply staying. Stay to look into their eyes wordlessly. Stay to share an old story, whether they remember or not. Stay to hold their hand, wipe a bead of sweat, breathe together, slowly, calmly. Because every moment now isn't the end, but what remains. And what remains is precious. If you're scared, afraid you'll miss something, not be strong enough, or not know what to say, Take heart. You're here, learning to listen, opening your heart to understand, and that's already love. Death seen through the lens of love isn't a bitter end. It's a beautiful farewell, a closing embrace, a breath released, not in sorrow, but in fulfillment of a life lived. So if you're holding someone's hand in their final days, know you're not alone. Countless others are learning to love until the very last moment, and that's the greatest gift you can give. Keep living with gratitude, live with the tenderness you've shown your loved one, because that love, it's still there, never lost. Thank you for staying with me this far, not just for listening, but for opening your heart. What you've learned isn't just about signs of leaving, but lessons in being present. Sometimes the greatest gift isn't healing, but showing up fully in the simplest moments. If you're caring for someone fading, remember, every glance, every touch, every time you stay instead of walk away, these are wordless I love yous. They may not recall your name, but they feel you're there. And if you've already watched a loved one go, rest easy. You loved, you stayed, you gave the greatest gift, unconditional love. Carry that love forward and live, slowly, fully, with gratitude.